Chapter 13 Xicadian Cycle. Queen Xylandria lived under an ever-darkening cloud. The doomsday clock was ticking, and the disillusionment of her nest had become an all-consuming shadow, save only for the miracle of divine intervention that would surely never come. Talk about the banality of death, she thought to herself morbidly. Her entire legacy to be snuffed out like the whispering flame of a candle. Step 1. Sterilize the queen, thus bringing an end to the Xicadian cycle. Step 2. Wait for the nest to die, then distribute all its remaining resources to other member nests. Step 3. Select the next condemned nest and go back to Step 1. Such a degrading end for a species born to fight. Yet the fate she herself faced was arguably an even greater affront. Under the protection of the supernest she belonged to, she would effectively become a ward of the state. Unable to spawn a daughter, she would be permitted to live out the rest of her natural life in relative comfort and docility until the inevitable death of her body. So, instead of a quick and painless death, she would be condemned to endure a lingering, meaningless existence. No doubt, when the end of her life finally came, it would be received as a blessed relief. The name of Nest Xylandria, to be remembered only as a cautionary tale of how unnatural selection continued to have its way in the postmodern era. How devastatingly disappointed her mother would surely have been to see her youngest daughter go down in such ignoble fashion. The queen, with eyes as black as night, looked upon her Cyhari general with withering disappointment.
So, what you are telling me then is we are absolutely certain Nest Italia has already claimed and secured this particular star system.
Ramirez 107, who looked for all the world as if this unfortunate piece of bad news was somehow entirely his own fault, offered a reproachfully apologetic reply.
Well, yes and no, my queen. It appears the claim was authenticated by the Shihari elite, known as Xicadian 110, a senior space colonization project lead within the upper echelon of Nest Italia's hierarchy. He was seemingly able to expedite the process due to an almost unprecedented level of executive powers bestowed upon him by his own queen. Now, while our informant was extremely swift in relaying the information of this discovery back to us, it appears Xicadian wasted no time in lodging the claim, which, coupled with his level of operational autonomy, resulted in a very swift turnaround by the ICPB. And in fact, the formal acknowledgement of their claim went out to the extrasolar newscasts a few hours prior.
The general began to wring his hands together anxiously.
As it turns out, he's even given the system a formal name. The star is apparently to be called Astella, and the accompanying planet, Quaverly.
Well, how very quaint. But what's the good news then? Please tell me that you actually have some.
I'm not sure this qualifies as good news exactly, but the highly unorthodox nature of the ICPB lodgment means ownership of the claim sits entirely with the Shihari general. According to the Shimagentia Accords, Nest Italia is not yet legally bound to the new planet, as it officially belongs exclusively to Xicadian, absurd as that notion may sound.
Queen Xylandria now stared at her Xyhari general, almost as if he wasn't even there.
Please, my queen, allow me to explain.
Ramirez pleaded desperately.
Oh, be quiet, you fool. Can't you see I'm trying to think?
By the grace of a god, Xylandria was not sure she even believed in, and at the very zenith of her crisis, now arrived the fragile promise of a miracle beckoning. One day, God's willing, she might yet still be permitted to fulfill her destiny, revealing the true greatness of her lineage, and in so doing, deliver the hammer blow of retribution that she alone had been burdened to bring to bear. Apparently, the gods had spoken, and they were giving her a second chance. It's funny how it worked like that. Only with Zed's blade bearing down upon her did she finally understand. It was time to step out of the shadows and unshackle herself from the chains of cowardice. Queen Xelandria shook her head disconsolately at the treacherous path ahead. With a gaze full of malevolent retribution, she returned her eyes to her general, who, perhaps sensing something new in the air, looked to his queen expectantly.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, Xiramirez. While it may seem as if we have lost this star system, appearances can be deceiving. You can start by lodging a formal application for a stellar with the Interstellar Claims and Patents Bureau. Yes, I know, it will be rejected out of hand, but it is vitally important that we get a legitimate claim added to the stack. This must be done without delay, so I need you to make immediate contact with our agent in the ICPB. We need the timestamp on the claim altered, so it appears as if it was lodged before Nest Xitalia received their own formal acknowledgement back.
The Queen leaned in towards her Zihari general, as if she were about to try and explain something of utmost importance to an easily distracted child.
Listen to me very carefully, Xiramirez, because the future of our nest hangs in the balance. Opportunity is not something you are given, it is something you take. It must appear as if our claim went in very closely behind that of Nest Xitalia's. What happens next will all be for nothing if you fail me on this one simple but crucially important task. Now then, do you understand and fully grasp the gravity of what it is I am trying to say?
Xiramirez almost tripped over his words in his rush to reply.
Leave it to me, my queen. I'll personally oversee the task, so that it gets done precisely as you have instructed, and without a moment's delay.
Queen Xelandria eased herself back into her throne. Seemingly now adequately satisfied, her general understood the profound significance of what it was that she was asking him to do.
All right, General. Just don't forget I have placed the future of my nest in your hands. Now, send in the Xixolotl. I have a task that is rather well suited to their particular set of talents. Well, what are you waiting for? Go now and play your part in securing our future.
Might I inquire, my queen?
Xiramirez began meekly.
Exactly, which Xixolotl would you...
But the general decided not to complete the sentence, as there was something in the glow of Xalandria's eyes that told him it would be a grave mistake to continue speaking. With a small tip of his head, he hurriedly exited the royal chamber. My queen has finally remembered who she really is, the general thought to himself, with a sense of exhilarated elation.